So if you're able to justify why you've done X, Y, and Z, and if an incident occurs, then we'll sort of have a look at it from the lens of what was reasonably practicable in that situation.
That's great. Very good. John or Graham?
Yep, it's John. I might have missed this in my absence, but one of the ones that concerned me with the training is that we often have truck drivers, and the question and answers and the legislation commentary is suggesting truck driver stays in the cab, he doesn't need the training. But there are plenty of instances where it's not safe for him to stay in the cab due to the mass of the stuff being loaded or loading conditions. We often get them out of the cab. We have a safe waiting zone. Our operator escorts them to that zone, stay there. They're usually visual contact. If these guys have got to be trained, it becomes a practicality issue, because you can get different truck drivers every day, and there's a huge demand then to get all the trucking people. And the other issue is they've got legal obligations under the National Heavy Vehicle legislation, and so have we as the loader, where that guy's got to get out of his truck after it's loaded to tie down his load or to inspect his tailgate or whatever to meet his legal obligations there. Yeah. And if we've got to put our supervisor next to him for every truck we load, the supervisor's not going to be doing anything else except holding hands with truck drivers on some days.
He just needs to be within sight and hearing of the supervisor.
Well, that's not always
another line that's something about an activity connected to the works.
Mm-hmm.
Now, loading out debris and waste, yes, that's connected with the works, but rigging your truck isn't.
That won't be connected to the works. So he'd be able to do that so long as he's away from any sort of real sort of risks from demo works taking place there.
Well, see, again, under the National Heavy Vehicle laws, we've got to provide a safe, nominated, designated truck loading area on our site, so it's got to be away from that. And I wouldn't have thought the truck loading part of it is directly involved with the licensed demolition. That fair assumption?
But you've got to ask yourself, do you want your supervisor watching what's going on the job, or you want him holding a truck driver's hand? I dare say you would want to be focusing on
the demolition work,
or the more high risk activities that are feeding that truck loading process, would you not?
Again, I think it's also about inducting that worker. If they're going through an induction process and they're told that this is the zone you're permitted in, this is your path, your delineated path to go to a crib room or the bathroom or whatever, then that person's inducted to only appear in the front work area that they are allowed to be in.